It's the agony and the ecstasy. But maybe there's a compromise hiding somewhere in this jumble of a plot? I guess they'll just have to seek it out. I'm Gayfesh, and today we'll be talking Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 9, Hide and Seek. But before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. As always, spoilers. So the Agnes Queen takes a big army of Borgified mercenaries to take over La Sirena versus 5 people, and the whole episode is them being wholly incompetent at fighting or finding them. It's the conservation of ninjutsu. It's why 100 Agent Smiths are little more than cannon fodder, while a single Smith can go Super Saiyan. And because of that, I think the writing team did themselves a disservice by giving her such a large army. If she had assimilated just a couple of Navy SEALs instead, this could be more of a cat and mouse game as they sneak around the chateau. But instead we get a bunch of rent-a-cops with green laser sights on their guns. Agnes and the Queen still have an internal fight for full control of the body, with Agnes locking the Queen out of some vital ship systems with an encryption key she didn't commit to memory. She also activates the ship's emergency combat hologram, now modeled after Elnor, which is about the most useless one you could pick in a gunfight, because he goes immediately for his sword. For some stupid reason, he also acts as though his body is in danger of injury. You're a hologram, dude. You can phase through that stuff. Picard and Talon evade some of the Borg led by Soong by going into the tunnels under the chateau. There, of course, we are treated to more of Picard's memories about his mother, and it is treated as some big revelation that she was mentally ill. For some reason, Picard has locked away a memory for 90 years that when she was having a bad spell and her husband locked her in a room, Jean-Luc let her out, which allowed her to hang herself in the solarium. Everything about this bothers me. Mental health treatment in the future is so advanced that we don't even get headaches. Picard's father acts like Yvette's mental illness is some great shame instead of something that must surely be treatable. And, okay, even assuming that wasn't an option, assuming that Picard was able to go his whole life repressing his memory of his mother's suicide, did he never read his own personnel file? Surely he would have seen the date of death for his mother at some point. Damn, Deanna, you really do keep dropping the ball when it comes to therapy. But he explains the whole thing to Talon, and she helps him come to an epiphany that this repressed memory is why he has avoided romantic relationships, and she gives him a motivational speech of her own after he's whipped out a few this season. Just then, of course, Soong shows up to monologue instead of just shooting them. So of course Rios gets the drop on his dudes, and he's forced to run away. Honestly, it's a shame that Adam is such a boring character. Brent Spiner is a rare talent, and they are wasting him on this dude. They haven't spent enough time to develop him, and he seems like he's just evil for ego's sake. On La Sirena, Elnor, Rafi, and Seven defeat the rest of the Borg guards, but Queen Agnes pulls out her Doc Ock tentacles and stabs Seven in the gut. Before she can stab her in the face to finish her off, she has an internal conflict where Agnes convinces the Queen that in every timeline, the Borg are doomed to failure. Whether it's the Federation or the Confederation, at some point the Borg fail and are destroyed. She offers a new option. Build a Borg collective based on consent. Seek out those who want to join, those who are lost and broken and alone, where the collective could give them meaning. The Queen is apprehensive at first, but admits it's an intriguing proposition, and so she fixes up Seven, which of course involves giving her the exact same implants she had before the timeline change. In exchange for saving Seven's life, Queen Agnes takes the ship to go off and build her Borg cooperative, or whatever she's gonna call it. I assume that's who we meet in the first episode of this season. This means that the team are going to have to find another way home next episode, but I'm sure Q can arrange something for them. Before Agnes leaves, she gives Picard a few pieces of advice. First, don't blow her up when they meet in the future. And second, a cryptic hint about saving the Europa mission. One Renee has to live and one has to die. So, what did you think? How's Soong going to try to stop the Europa mission next week? Leave a comment down below.
What are the odds that the chateau would have the exact same bookshelf doorway in 400 years' time when the building is in such a derelict state now?
Be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and share the video with your friends. Subscribe to my Patreon to get shouted out in future videos. Check out my Bandcamp for banging tunes, including all the tracks you heard in this video. Follow me on Twitter @GayestFesh, and don't forget to check out my podcast, The Rest of Both Worlds, where I go through Star Trek The Next Generation with a friend who's never seen it. Thank you to all my patrons, with a special shout out to Piftle Cakes and Renee Vorbeck. Your support is greatly appreciated. See you all in the next video.